So today I thought we could take a look at the i3 window manager. It's a window manager that I've used before and quite like. It's got quite a lot of documentation that you can go through to make it exactly how you want it to be. So if I switch over to my VM, I've got a Manjaro Linux VM open over here. I'm going to go ahead and install it with sudo pacman-s i3 status and i3 blocks. Enter my password. And then we can exit. What I've got here is Manjaro Cinnamon. So let's go ahead and log out. Turn my speakers off because I don't need to hear it. And now we can switch over to i3. And first configuration. You have not configured i3 yet. Yes, let's generate. Let's choose Alt as the modifier. Now you may notice there's not much going on, but if we Alt Enter, we can have this blinding white terminal. I'm gonna go ahead and change that because I quite like my eyesight. And we can do another neofetch. See, now we have the exact same info, but we have neofetch. Okay, so to edit i3, we need to edit the i3 config, as you would expect, and that is located in .config i3 as config. So let's open that up with Vim. So I'm gonna go all the way to the bottom where this bar part is, because I like to have the bar at the bottom, this at the top. So I'm gonna go ahead and add a position top. Then I'm gonna go ahead and Alt Shift C, and now it's at the top. Not quite done yet, because if you notice, I can't actually open anything else. But what I will do first is I will do an X render for 920 by 1080, so it's better sized. I can't actually open any other program, so I'm gonna go ahead and git clone git.suckless.org dmenu. I'm gonna do a sudo make install so that I can Alt D. There we go. So we now have dmenu, which is the program loader. I can open up Firefox, and we have Firefox open. Now, if we go back to config i3, you can see we have a lot more going on than just what I showed you. If we go all the way to the top, you can see we have set mod 1. If you wanted to set that to the super key, the Windows key, you could do set mod or set win to mod 4. Set right alt to mod 3. Of course, you don't have to. You can just keep the alt or the Windows key as you chose. The font, you can set this to anything. Say you wanted it as Ubuntu Mono 12. And you can see it is now Ubuntu Mono. We can go over here and we can see we've got some volume controls going on over here. These will be bound to your actual volume control keys on your keyboard, which I do have. Start a terminal is mod return. It's going to choose i3 sensible terminal, but if you want to set one to load by default, you could just type the name of it there. For example, if I wanted to install Xterm and I wanted it to use Xterm instead, I could change this to Xterm, add a couple of arguments, and it is opened Xterm. That looks great. Obviously, I'm not going to keep it as next term. Going down here, you can see we have this D menu run. We can replace that with rofi show run. Then we have to do a sudo pacman s rofi. And then reload. Now what we can also do here is we can do rofi. Okay, there is theme selector where we can change the theme that we use. I quite like this one, so I'm going to go ahead and alter A, and that should be the new theme. Yeah, it's the new theme. So, say I wanted to open Xterm manually, I could do that. Obviously, it's going to be blinding white for, well, it's Xterm, who knows. Let's do an EO fetch, put that into lolcat with the T flag. Just so it uses true color. Down here, we have changed the focus using Vim keys or just the arrow keys. And the move focus windows also either with Vim or arrow keys. And here we have split in horizontal orientation, which is this. Or we can have it in vertical, which is this. To kill a window, it's Alt-Shift-X, or... No, it's Alt-Shift-Q, or Win-Shift-Q, depending on your modifier. Bind Sim Mod F is full screen toggle, so it's the equivalent of doing an F11 in your browser. Mod S is stacked layout, which I don't actually like. Mod W is tabbed, which I kind of get why it exists, but I don't like it. And E is toggle split, which does that. Down here, we can also change some more hotkeys and change colors down here by adding colors. And then I forget what it is, but you can change them just by reading the i3 documentation. You can also change this status command to, let's say, i3 blocks. And you can see it's changed. This is the, and if we open a terminal over here, make it a bit bigger, we can open i3 blocks and see that it's the exact same, but without the pipe separating it all. So I may spend a couple of minutes just working on this to show you what you can actually do with i3. So I'll stop the recording and I'll come back when I've done that. So I spent some time messing around with it, and you could see I've changed a couple of things. I've added gaps, and that is done by adding this gaps inner and gaps outer at the top of, well, it could be anywhere, I just like to put it at the top. And if we go down to the bottom, you can see what I was on about with the changing of the colours. So if you look around this border, you can see that we have a white border, and then on this side we have like a red border. Down here, I can change this to, let's say, 3 and reload, so you can see it much clearer. If I change to a vertical split, you can see it's down there now. If I do a horizontal, you can see it's now there. So that was a brief look at i3. It's a brilliant tiling window manager, and one I recommend you use it if you're just starting with tiling window managers, or have been using them for a while, because it is a great window manager.